Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought in this video we would have a look at some of the changes they're making to Enlisted in the next major updates. There's a ton of changes when it comes to the progression system. They're adding some new maps, they're adding some new mechanics. There's a ton of really awesome stuff that is coming to the next major updates, not just the Battle of Tunisia. So this is looking like a very large one with a ton of additions and changes, which will be very, very fun. I've been playing a lot of Enlisted recently, and it's been incredibly enjoyable to play, and I will be doing going forward, especially when Tunisia comes out. The first new addition to the game is digging, and this may seem like a small thing, but what they're actually adding in at least the Battle of Tunisia, and I'm sure many of the other campaigns, is the ability to be able to dig holes, so not just foxholes, but also positions for stuff like vehicles. The example they actually give is of a semovente, which is dug into the ground. Now, this all works through the use of a shovel, and the shovel is one of those things you can obtain in the logistics. You equip it instead of a melee weapon, and if used, you can actually dig a small pit to hide in on the ground. This is ideal for a defensive machine gun position or also a secluded spot for sniping. The other things that you can also do is you can dig even further, making holes up to 1.5 meters deep. Now these are going to be perfect for ambushing. This is going to be perfect for stuff such as tanks to be able to sit in and defend, or it's also going to be great for blocking paths for tanks. So let's say you have an area which is just in a place where you want to, where you want to kind of block off, instead of just using tank traps now, which, work very effectively already. You can also just dig a big hole where the road is, and therefore the tank won't be able to get past, and it'll just get stuck in it. And I think in general that's actually really, really cool. Now these trenches and pits will become a nice defense addition and will be built by engineers. So engineers are getting even stronger when it comes to their general mechanics. I think personally I'd like to see infantry members be able to build smaller holes, and then engineers be able to build the big holes. That to me would be like the really nice thing to see. I would love to see that in general. Obviously, there are some limits to this, so you can't dig through solid rocks, you can't dig inside buildings or existing trenches. So basically, this is taking some ground, whether it be desert or whether it be grassland, and being able just to dig a hole and creating a foxhole. It's as simple as that. The only limiting factor here to it will be how long it takes to dig that hole. They're also rejuvenating Beloe Lake, basically making an invasion mission for us. Now, if you don't know what Beloe Lake is, it is actually a map which has existed in Enlisted for quite a while in the Battle of Moscow campaign. It's basically the one where you have like a little village which is sat next to the decent set of forest, and then the forest itself has a point in the middle of it, and it's all about basically just controlling the town area or the village area. But now they're actually going to make what looks like an invasion mission from it. They're also going to make use of the church, which has been sat there for the whole time and never used because it's way away from the battlefield. There's also a bridge crossing the river, so that should be pretty fun. And also at the same time, they've added a bunch of trenches, some defensive positions, and also completely new objects on it. There's actually an overturned tank, a bunch of anti-tank traps. Assaulting the church should actually be really, really fun to do. They've also added these new positions, which are pretty much like hunting hunting towers. So it's a ladder with a little base on the top of it, and you can stand on it with your sniper and try and use the tree for cover. It's obviously good for being, higher than the enemy. It means that you'll be able to get shots down on them. I just don't think it's going to be that useful useful because you're kind of going to be very exposed. There isn't really any cover there. Once someone sees you, you're going to die. So it might be good at long range, but I don't think it's going to be too good at other ranges. But generally it's nice to see. And overall, this map, generally for the Conquest version, it got kind of stale pretty quick. Because it was just doing the same thing over and over again. Not too much difference. Hopefully the invasion mission will be different. They're also fundamentally changing a lot of the progression system in the game, which is a huge surprise actually, because generally when it comes to Enlisted, a lot of stuff like that I thought was set in stone, but they're actually really rejuvenating it in a pretty cool way. So it says, while we're preparing new content and features for the major updates, we're also working hard to improve existing mechanics. One of the main areas we've been working on is the progression system for soldiers and weapons. After carefully studying your game experience in Enlisted, we want to ease the management of these two very important aspects of the strength of your army. We've aimed to streamline the experience and remove some unnecessary actions. Now, you will simply use bronze orders for most of these tasks. So they're actually just making pretty much everything tied to bronze orders, which of course you get by just playing the game through XP. So it looks like they're trying their best to make things simplified. So for soldiers, the academy will be removed from the game, so just straight up taking away the academy. Increasing the rank of a soldier will be done simply by spending bronze orders. You will not need to remove useful soldiers from your squads and sacrifice them to get a new one of higher level anymore. Rank progression will be gradual. Each progression will increase skill points, and at a certain amount of such educations, depending on the rank itself will increase. So no more putting 3 soldiers into one to create one better star individual. Now it's just going to be through bronze orders. And to be honest with you, I have a ton of bronze orders just kind of sat there not doing anything. So I think this is completely fine. It also will eliminate a lot of the chop and changing that you have to do in general. It does mean that going through and getting more stars for people will be a lot easier. Instead of doing the whole swap in 3 machine gunners with 1 stars and then put them into the system, get a 2-star out, then swap in 3 2-stars and so on and so forth. It was one of the most annoying parts of Enlisted, a lot of clicking, which I feel like could have been solved with a few list functions, but they've gone nuclear and decided to take out the academy system. This will make it a lot more simplified for players and hopefully mean that they can get some better additions. Also, one additional advantage here, skill points will carry more bonuses in battle. More stamina will actually mean more stamina in the battle. The more the skill is developed, the more bonuses it will give your soldier. So your skills, you can get them, and then I'm guessing the way that this is being noted is as you gain more experience with that skill, therefore your skill will increase. So you'll start off with, let's say, plus 20 stamina after selecting the skill, and then after a period of time, you will actually get, let's say, plus 30 stamina or plus 40 stamina while you have that perk equipped. If that's the case, that is kind of nuts because now you're adding a new progression part of the game, which isn't just, the star thing. It's also it's kind of like in War Thunder where you expert a crew and get plus 3 on it, and then you can grind out the aced crew where you get plus 5. It seems very similar to what they're doing there. Also, we will change the way you switch perks. You'll be able to swap them at any time at the cost of dropping 1 rank level, so no more retraining points are needed. A lost rank level can be regained easily in battle, and a new perk learned. By introducing all of these soldiers, we will remove the necessity to maintain a large soldier reserve, so there will be neither the need nor option to recruit more soldiers for bronze orders. So they're taking away the ability to be able to recruit soldiers for bronze orders. Right, let's just read that again. By introducing all of these changes, we'll remove the necessity to maintain a large soldier reserve, so there will be neither the need nor option to recruit more soldiers for bronze orders. So how are you going to be able to get new soldiers? Let's say if you increase your squad size, let's say if you're infantry, you start off with 5, you end up with 9. How do you get that extra 4? Are you only going to be able to do it through silver orders? Because if that's the case, then I hope that they're changing the way that you get access to silver orders, because silver orders are one of those things which is not exactly easy to come by. The easiest way of doing it is basically maxing out the battle pass, and by maxing out the battle pass, you can then get a few silver orders every day if you do the dailies. But still, that is not a great opportunity. You know, you have to get through a lot of stuff to get that. So hopefully they change or manipulate how you get silver orders. Maybe they do it every X amount of bronze orders in game. Maybe every time you unlock 5 or 10 you get a silver order, because otherwise we're going to be left in a pretty bad situation with that. But everything else, you know, on this looks very positive. They're simplifying it, you know. They're making it so it's pretty simple. I'm sure a lot of development went into that academy system, and now it's just disappeared. You know, that can't feel very good. I thought it was all right in general, the academy system. There was just a lot of clicking involved, and if they'd solved the clicking issue, then it would have been okay. But it looks like they've just gone the other way. It's definitely simplified. There's now a lot less clicking. In that regard, they've basically halved it, because now you don't have to move any of the soldiers. Now instead it's just the weapons and the equipment that you have to move. So this is a huge change and a beneficial one generally for players. Apart from, as I said, the silver order thing, we're going to have to see how that works. And then for weapons, they're changing a lot of stuff as well. So we will use the same approach for weapons here as well. Spare parts will be removed from Enlisted. Upgrades will be carried out using bronze weapon orders. We'll also remove the squad upgrade that gave more parts for disassembly. This upgrade will now lower the amount of bronze orders needed instead. So, I mean, that's fine. That's just changing the criteria of upgrading. As with soldiers, you will now have no need to stockpile dozens of examples of the same weapon to disassemble it for parts. So we will remove the weapon delivery for bronze orders, leaving it only for silver and gold. As before, you will earn bronze orders for every 3,000 points accumulated in battle. You'll also gain the ability to sell unneeded weapons and dismiss soldiers to even get more bronze orders. Right, so once again, we have a little bit of an issue here when it comes to, I thought personally, the getting guns with bronze orders was completely fine, but now they're removing that. Now we have another issue on our hands. Once again, it really depends on how easy it is to get silver orders, because if they don't change that, or if they don't make it easier, then we're going to have real problems here, because it just means that nobody's going to be able to get access to those new weapons that they unlock. They'll only get one of them from the actual unlock. So that is a key thing that so far hasn't been explained, because they're basically removing the RNG elements from the game. They're removing the RNG of the logistics. So the RNG of opening the boxes and RNG of opening, the weapon crates or the soldier crates. That's what they're doing. So now there's only going to be the silver options left. So if they don't change how silver options, you can get your hands on silver options, then we're going to have a bit of a problem, because of the fact that you're going to have a lot of infantry that you're going to have to wait a long time to be able to buff up, and also, for weapons as well. So unless they tie some dailies to them, unless they tie some special challenges or achievements, then that's going to be pretty rough. You're not going to see a lot of change in your guys for a long time. But these are huge changes in the progression system, making it a hell of a lot simpler for everybody, which is really good. Also, they say all the above mentioned changes will be introduced step by step within the next few updates of the game, so you can spend existing training orders in the meantime, or just wait for the mechanic to change. Unspent orders and weapons parts will be compensated by additional bronze, weapon, and soldier orders credited to your account. Well, that's fair. Also, we will fully reimburse gold and squad points spent for any improvements removed from the game. Lovely. That's really nice, actually. Normally you don't actually see that from companies, so I'm really happy to see that they are going to reimburse people for the changes that they've made. And I'm sure if that's used as a precedent going forward, it might bite them in the ass, but it is a really nice gesture. These progression changes are huge, and I think, personally, overall very positive. The only issue is the Silver Order thing, which I'm sure we'll hear about in the future. This new update is bringing a lot of new things, and all seem very positive, as long as they work. As always, I'm always worried about little catches here and there, and I hope there isn't a catch with this. So far, a lot of the changes that Enlisted has made hasn't had really any catches in it, so hopefully this one won't either. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd like to thank BRFC, Swollen Ostrich, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Conte Baraka, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Lafouche, Barine, and Samuel Schlick for supporting the channel.